Welcome everyone to another Mr. Robot Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I did. I got to watch the Chiefs play the Jets. It was actually a really close game. I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near that close, but such a good game. Their head coach actually got a personal foul or personal penalty against him. He was cussing up a storm on the sidelines. It was kind of funny. You see that little vein popping out of his forehead, you know. He was pretty upset. I mean, he had a lot of reason to be, but at the same time, the refs did a pretty decent job at a lot of the calls that they made. So I don't know where his head was at. He must have been going through some stuff, but I don't know. He was just cussing up a storm on the field. It was pretty funny. But anyway, so today I am going to work on this box called DVR4. It's an intermediate box on Proving Grounds. Windows machine rated by the community as being hard. So hopefully I can actually make it through this. I mean, if I can't, I'm gonna have to split it up into 2 different days. Not a big deal. Eventually I'll get it, but sometimes these things they take a long time, especially the intermediate and hard ones. So I will go ahead and boot that up. I went ahead and connected to the VPN already. I just haven't booted up the machine yet. So we'll need to boot that up, grab an IP address so we can actually go to work. And I fixed the live stream. So I went to a different platform. I was using a different platform for WordPress specifically, and it was complete garbage in my opinion. So I went through and started using StreamYard. So you can actually view this at StreamYard.com, live streaming on pretty much all platforms right now. But there is also a chat option. So if you're viewing this from the website, just click on the video. It should be up at the upper right-hand corner. You'll see a little chat icon. You can click on that, and you can actually chat with me live right now if you want to. If you have any questions or anything like that, just feel free. Any comments. If you just want to make fun of me, even if that's it, just go for it, man. I really don't care. So yeah, just feel free. All right, so we went ahead and got an IP address. 192.168.217.179. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is actually incorporate that into our environment. So I'm not having to type that over and over again, right? Especially with like our commands and stuff. So I will export IP equals, paste that in. And so now if we echo $IP, we have that saved in our environment. So if I run in a scan, let's say, actually I got to run a scan anyway. So let's go ahead and show. So I got to run nmap, right? So we'll run nmap for all ports. And then instead of typing in that IP address, all I have to do is $IP. And then I will output that into nmap.txt for further enumeration, right? And if you're new to this, if this is like your first time seeing any of this and don't know what's going on, that's completely okay. Seems to be blocking my ICMP packet, so we'll take that out and let it scan that way. So what I'm doing right now is scanning the service ports on the machine. So every computer, it has 65,000. I don't remember the exact number. It's like 65,000 something service ports that could be open and used for services, right? So if let's say you have a web application, all right, so we'll break it down. So like FaceTime, for instance, right? FaceTime needs a way to send out and receive the data so that you can actually talk to people, right? Like so the voice and the video and all that, it has to be transferred in some kind of way. It goes through what they call ports or these service ports, and that's exactly what I'm scanning. So if I scan these and it says that there are ports open, that means that there's going to be services running on those ports. What those services are, I don't know yet, but I will find out using another scan using the same tool. So the tool is called Nmap, and it's very, very comprehensive. You can do a lot of things with it, but generally used for port scans. I mean, to find out what services are running, which is what I'm going to do next, and then finding like the version of those services running to see if there's any kind of exploit, like publicly known exploit available for those. And so that's all I'm doing right now is I'm scanning those ports to see which ones are open. If you're familiar with like three-way handshakes and TCP, like three-way handshakes and all of that, this will kind of make a little bit more sense to you. If you're not well versed on that, not a big deal. I can probably explain that very shortly. Actually, I'll go ahead and try and explain as much as I can. Well, actually, nope. I guess not. I was going to do it while it was running, but so I will go ahead and run another Nmap scan, except this time, instead of doing all ports, like how I did right here, or I'm sorry, right here, that's scanning for all ports. Right now, I want to see the ports that are open, which is 22 and 8080, right? I want to run a version scan on those, and then I want to run a script scan on those. And if you run nmap-h, it lists all of the things here that you can use, all of the different options. And like I said, there's a ton of options, right? If you want to do UDP scan only, not TCP, TAC SU. Let's see. You can do top ports. So like most commonly used ports, you can just do that instead of scanning all the ports. So right here is our script scan. So it basically, if it detects a service that's running on a port, it tries to guess what kind of scripts are available for that, and it runs those scripts against it. So for instance, if it found an FTP server that was being run, it would run an automatic script to try and log in as an anonymous user, which is like a very common thing, especially with these capture the flag things. They'll usually have an FTP server open, and you can log in anonymously, and that's kind of like your way in. Just misconfigured things like that. It basically runs a scan for it. There are other scans that you can include with this if you feel that it's like a specific thing that is probably going to be an exploit. You can actually look those up. It's called NSE, Nmap script. I forget what it stands for. Anyway, yeah, so they have other scripts and stuff that you can run too that are a little bit more specific. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and run this script scan and version scan, and let's learn a little bit more about those services. So while that's running, okay, never mind. Oh wait, we got to do. So when it does this, it's actually blocking ping probes, which is ICMP packets that it's blocking. So we disable that using the TAC-PN. Like it tells you what's going on right here. And that's usually majority of like how Linux works. You type in something's wrong, it spits out something it spits out what it thinks is wrong or what is going wrong. And usually I'd say about 95% of the time it tells you to try something else, or it kind of knows what you're after, so it kind of gives you like hints on what to try instead of what you did. So yeah, we just have to disable those ICMP packets, run that version scan, and let me try to get through three-way handshake. Actually, no, I need visual demonstration for that. I'm not going to pull it up right now. It's just easier to explain with a visual representation. But basically, it's you reaching out to a server saying, hey, I want to connect to you. The server reaching back saying, hey, are you who you say you are? And then you saying yes. And then you're able to access it, right? So in a nutshell, that's kind of how it works. It goes a little bit further into detail. There's other flags and stuff that it uses. Like I said, it would be a lot easier with a visual representation when trying to explain this. All right, so all that we know right now is port 22 SSH is open, and it's using Bitvise Win SSHD. So one of the things we can do is take this this version number of this service and Google, public exploits for that. Let's see what else they got. Port 8080. So HTTP proxy. So it's running a web server. And it says Argus Surveillance DVR. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it, but that seems interesting. So let's go ahead. I'm actually going to do this SSH thing first because I'm not very familiar with Bitvise or whatever this is. So I'm going to search for a public exploit on that. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. It is Mr. Robot Monday. I don't know if you can see the hat, but it's a Mr. Robot hat. I'm very proud of it. It actually hangs up on the wall and I barely ever touch it. But I figured I would wear that today. All right. It's a lot more comfortable than the mask. The mask I could barely breathe in. I couldn't see anything. So I don't really see any exploits for that. So that's fine. That's okay. So more than likely it's going to be with this port 8080. So what we will go ahead and do is go to this web server on port 8080. All right, Argus surveillance. There are no cameras. Click here to create a camera. Local camera, network camera. I don't know what this is. I mean, obviously it's a surveillance thing, so I'm assuming this is well. The name of it kind of gives it away, I guess. DVR. So I'm assuming this is a DVR device that all the cameras connect to. That way, if something happens on the camera, you need to replay incidents on the camera, or whatever. That's what this is for. It just manages everything. So this is kind of interesting. What is this called again? Argus surveillance DVR. Event logs. Access log. Viewers. Oh, hey, that's me. See? That's our VPN IP address there. So I guess I'm a viewer now. Sessions, system log. Watchdog has been started. So Watchdog log. I'm assuming Watchdog is the camera services. I don't know. Users. Administrator and viewer. To restrict access by users, use the authorization. Or yeah, it must be activated on a remote access page. What's the remote access page? Oh. It would change password, but it looks like we already have access to all this. I don't understand. Am I an admin? Like, I don't understand this. Hmm. That's interesting. Let's see about the program. So version 4.0 released on 2008. Man, this thing's old. So let's go ahead and look up exploits for this and 4.0 and let's see if there's any out there. I would assume if this thing's from 2008, there's probably one or two out there. I'm willing to bet that. So Argus surveillance DVR. Yep, 4.0. Weak password encryption. Let's see. Weak password encryption. What does this do? So this is a local. So what? If so I don't have access to it that I know of yet. So apparently this is where the passwords are going to be stored and this thing cracks the passwords from what I'm seeing here. Because it's saying the hash is going to look something like this and then it just uses these characters to decrypt it from what I'm seeing. I mean, I guess we could do this by hand too, but might as well automate it. But we don't have access to the system yet, so we'll keep that in our back pocket though. What else do they have? Directory traversal. This might be promising. Maybe we can get that password. I don't know what the password goes to though. Because, I mean, if we need access to this Argus surveillance, we already have access to it. I don't know. Let's see directory traversal though. So the proof of concepts. So they curl the accounts. And this is really common for directory traversal. I don't know if this part is specific to just this software, but you'll see a lot of the times this is all URL encoded. So it's dot dot and then %2f is URL encoded for a slash. So it's as if you were basically, let me show you if I can. All right, so generally web pages are served on this folder on a Linux. I know this is a Windows machine that we're doing, but I'm just trying to demonstrate because it works in the same type of way. So on Linux machines, if there is a web server running, usually there's a file that you're seeing that's located in this directory right here, right? And if you're able to do directory traversal, like how you saw, I told you it was URL encoded, but it's a dot dot slash and then dot dot slash dot dot slash, so on and so forth, right? That's the equivalent of running cd, which means change directory, and then hitting back and then doing this, right? And so once I do that, now look where it takes me. I went from the HTML, or I'm sorry, the var www HTML directory. Now I'm in the root directory. And that's because I changed directories using that right there, which is essentially what you're doing whenever you're doing, or whenever you find a directory traversal. That's essentially what you're doing. You're backing out to that root folder. So since this is a Windows machine, essentially you're backing out to the C drive. And then from there, it looks like he goes to the Windows folder and then finds system ini. So let's result. Okay. I'm actually going to copy this and try this. We may have to make some modifications to it, which not a big deal. Happens a lot. Let's try it in here. I need to put in the IP address, which this time we actually have to type it in because this is not associated with our environment. So I will copy that. Paste that. Let me make sure it's HTTP. Okay. All right, so it looks like it worked. It actually spit out the system.ini file. So we do have some kind of directory traversal here. So this is exactly what it was looking for, right? So the result's still the same as well. And actually, here, let me use curl to do that. We'll do it the same way he did. I mean, you could do it either way. It's just curl doesn't use the fancy stuff to make it look pretty. It's all just text, and we can actually use $IP since it's in the environment as a variable now. And yeah, so we get the same thing. So yeah, he said the result is just like that. This is our result. Cool. So now we got to find out what we can find in here. If this were a Linux machine, I would be looking for, the Etsy password, Etsy shadow files, so that I can, crack some passwords if I was able to. I would also be looking for like SSH, like their folders. I could probably do SSH on this too. Actually, yeah, let me check that out. So we had users here. Let me try administrator. I might have to pull up my notes for SSH. I don't remember if it's. So I don't need INI. I believe it would be just SSH, right? There might be .ssh. I can't quite remember. And this will be users, and then %2f for another slash, because it has to be URL encoded. If it's not URL encoded, sometimes the web application firewall will not recognize it or not read it because it kind of sees what you're trying to do. So that's why we URL encode things. It's just a simple bypass. Most web application servers, most web applications now actually like they sanitize that input, so it's very difficult to ever find one that just uses simple slashes like that. So users, what was the name? Or we had an administrator account. So let's try administrator. Straightor, if I can spell correctly. Was not found. Okay. Let's try a different one. Let's try. What was the other one? There was administrator viewer. Let's see if that's a thing. Viewer was not found. Let me make sure I'm looking in the correct place too. I have to pull up my SSH notes in Notion because I mean, this is why I keep notes, is because I forget things from time to time. So we'll look up the SSH. Oh, that's right. So it's the same as Linux. I don't know why I was thinking it was different. Anyway, let me try that administrator one again. So the same as Linux. So there's a .ssh folder, and then we'll need percent. Was it 2f again for another slash, and then this is going to be ID underscore RSA. Exact same as Linux. Okay, so this one wasn't found either. Let me try the viewer. And if you're not familiar with what SSH is, it stands for Secure Shell. Generally, it's a way to access backend things in a secure manner. But they use what they call like these RSA keys so that you can log in without having a password or without using a password. And that's what we're trying to attempt right now, if we can find that. Yeah, the name was viewer. Viewer. Users, viewer. Trying to make sure I typed in everything right too. um users percent $2f. So that's another slash viewer. Okay, so I didn't spell viewer right. Oh, okay. There we go. I was right. I just didn't spell it right. So 99% of the time, whenever I make a mistake, it's usually because I fat fingered something, didn't type it incorrectly, or like read the wrong thing. The whole time I was in the Air Force Tech School for cyber transport, I was blazing through everything. I actually finished a few months early. Not to brag or anything, but I kept having issues, and like every time I would have an issue, it was always due to me fat fingering an IP address. And I'm like, this network isn't running. I don't understand what happened. I did everything right. And then the instructor would come over and just be like, dude, like, come on. Like the last octet was 0.3. You put in 0.4. I'm like, dude, like, so yeah, always double check everything that you type because that can make a huge difference. So since we have that private key, let's go ahead and copy that. We will put that into a file. And we'll name this file ID underscore RSA. I will save that. There's probably already one on here. Name that. So yeah, I'm gonna replace it and override it because I always save these on the home directory whenever I'm doing these CTFs. I should be a little bit more organized and make like folders for it, and then that way I can just delete it after. But at the same time, I like keeping some of this stuff because it makes other CTFs a little bit easier. So anyway, we will need to change the permissions on that though. 600 ID underscore RSA. Did I not just save that, or did I save that somewhere else? Oh, because I'm in the home directory. I need to be in mine. There we go. So let's see. We will SSH in using the ID RSA viewer. See, there I go again. I'm fat fingering stuff. Viewer at $IP. Yes. And we are in. We finally have a foothold. Let's see if we can grab a flag here. Is there any? That's probably on the desktop. Yep, there we go. So we will type local.txt, grab that flag, and then we will move on to privesc. Let's copy that. See, I had it here. Make sure that flag's correct. Whoops, I hit copy instead of paste. There we go. Save and cool. Flag you submitted is correct. So yeah, we are halfway there. We just need another flag. Oh yeah, there was the thing about a password once we get into this right here. So let me see if this even exists on here, because this may be for something else, but there's a password in there. Let's find it. What was it called? Was that the params, dvr params.ini? So let's type that and see if we can get. Well, look at that. There's a password. There's another password. That's for administrator. I just don't know what these passwords go. Like, is this the password for the program, or is this a password for? Or maybe there's password reuse. I don't know. It could be any of the things. So what do we know? So we have a password hash for the login name administrator, right? So let me copy that. And we'll make note of that in mousepad. I should probably label that too. I'll just label it administrator. That's a password hash. I don't know whose password. I'm guessing viewer is the other one. I didn't see a name though. There's a login name for that. I don't see another login name. Oh yeah, dude, there it is. Okay, viewer. So yeah, the other one is for viewer. We already have his password though. Well, no, we have the SSH file. So let me put that into and see if we can crack those passwords. And we'll just use this guy's script here. I'm too lazy to add special characters. Okay, so is there somebody that isn't too lazy to add special characters? Too far. I'm just looking for another script. And it looks like somebody made one. Sweet. We'll go ahead and grab that then. I'm not even going to clone it. I'm just going to copy and paste the code here into my own. So we'll copy all of that. It'll let me. Something's going on. It's weird. And then we'll use nano python. No. What is this called? dvr.py. Paste that in. Close it. Oh, wait. We need to edit some parts in it, though, don't we? We need to input the hashes in here. Oh, wait. Maybe they did that already. Huh. Let me try running it and see. Python 3 dvr.py. Python 2, maybe? Oh, so let's just input the password, or the password hash that we got. So we'll grab viewer first and see if this works. Oh shit, check that out. Password, I'm watching you. Like I said, like from the code, from what I saw, we could easily do this by hand, do this ourselves, but you might as well automate things. Because I mean, it's not a very complicated thing, like especially if you have the key there, right? So you know 5E53 equals the letter I, or the capital letter I should say. So yeah, we will. So now we have a password for them. Let's try administrator. $14 watchdog $. Okay. So now we have a username and password. I know if you have an administrator password, you can do impersonation and get it to run anything that you want, so long as you have the password to input that. We usually use run as for that. So I'm gonna try that. See if we can just I would have to upload either a reverse shell. I'm trying to think of how to do this. Either a reverse shell, or I could upload like netcat to it and just have it run netcat and connect back to me. Which I think I'll do it that way. Let me make sure I have a copy of netcat for Windows. Let's see. Locate. Okay, so I have one on the home directory. Cool. Too easy. So let's pull my notes over here and we will see. This is why I keep notes. I'm telling you, like, definitely take notes on everything that you do. Because you'll forget like certain commands. So we'll do file transfer Windows and we'll use cert util. Well, shit. Oh, first I need to make a Python server. We'll do it on port 80. Let me put this in there a temp directory, Windows. All right, cool. So I'll put this in the temp directory then. So we will paste clipboard. I need to change the IP address to 45.160. And we are getting netcat.exe and We are storing it here at C/Windows/temp, and then naming it nc.exe, right? Access is denied. Of course it's denied. Why? Why wouldn't it be, right? Oh, what am I doing, dude? I'm an idiot. I see what I did. I copied too much of the command. Let's try that. There we go. So it's grabbing it. Let's make sure it's on there. Of course it's not. Let me just go back to users then. Actually, I can just change it here. So we'll do C drive users. And what was the name? Viewer? Viewer. Let me spell it correctly. Access is denied. Why? Why is that denied? Maybe I can't do it this way. I don't know. Let's see. Um, um, hmm. Let's try doing it from here. Make sure all this is correct. Users, viewer, desktop, nc.exe, right? Yeah. Access is denied. Why is it denied? What am I doing wrong? I'm missing something here. Mm-mm-mm. This is going to frustrate me. We could do SMB. I don't understand why it's not working. That's weird. It just worked a minute ago. We are at what, 45, 160. So basically, what I was trying to do was use certutil to download nc.exe and then store it there. But for some reason, it says access denied, and I'm not entirely sure why, because we are viewer. Like, yeah, we are the user viewer, so it should be authorized to save stuff to your own desktop. So it's a little weird that it's not working, and I feel like I'm missing something like blatantly obvious, but I'm not seeing it. I don't know. Anyway, so what I'm gonna try and do is use. Actually, no, SMB is not open. Hmm. Let me. Why won't this work? That's correct IP address, but why is it saying access denied? That's so weird. Let me try, whoops. Let me try restarting that server. I'm so very confused right now. Hmm. Make sure I'm typing this in right. Yeah, attack F, HTTP. Maybe I have it written wrong. I don't know. 92, whoops, 168, 45, 160. We are on port 80, so it should automatically pull from port 80, and then netcat.exe. Why? What the? So this is gonna take some Googling. And it's also weird that it won't let me do it to the temp directory too. That's very odd. Oops. Hmm. Uh, what the hell am I missing? Let me try something real quick. Since we have the administrator password, let me try the run as command. So we have user administrator, and then it should be like this, right? It's still what? Access is denied for that too. That's insane. Man. So I need to Google this. So we have user can't use cert util in own directory. I have never been able to do this before, or I've never had this issue before to where I wasn't able to use cert util, especially in your own folder. Like this just doesn't make sense to me right now. But you know what? We're gonna figure it out. Oops. Who am I / priv? Ooh, it might help if I can type correctly. Hmm. Cert util exe access denied. Like it's very weird to me. I can't do this to my own folder. I can't do it on the temp directory. Actually, let me see something real quick. I want to try something. I want to see if this password works. Maybe this has something to do with it. I don't know. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, what if I try administrator then? Maybe I won't have to do this. Maybe I can just SSH in. But usually they like prevent login. Okay, so yeah, that's not their password apparently. Make sure I copied that correctly. Usually they prevent administrator login from SSH and for good reason, so it looks like that's what's going on here. I just wanted to try that out to see if that was like part of the reason, but it's also very weird that it started to, but then now it's not. So let me try PowerShell. Let me see if PowerShell will let me. Like I said, I have never had this issue before. This is insane to me. So let's paste that, and then we are at 45.160, looking for netcat.exe. Make sure we have a server running. We don't need that. All right, so we have a server running on port 80. Why are you not connecting? The script contains malicious content has been. Oh, AMC's got us. Well, how about that? All right. Let's okay. That I mean, at least that tells me something. That tells me what's going on. So we need to bypass that antivirus then. Or let me just see if I can just create a shell. A reverse shell executable. Oops, didn't mean to close that. And MSF Venom payloads. We'll do a stageless. Let me make a shell real quick. And then we'll see if we can run that as the administrator to try and get a reverse shell. So we got port, we'll do 4444, and then our IP address is 192.168.45.160. And hopefully it doesn't pick up on this too, but it's probably just the name, like NC. I wonder if I change the name, or the script contains malicious content that has been blocked by your antivirus software. That's crazy. I'm glad I thought to run PowerShell, man. I would have been stuck here for a long time because there wasn't any output on that. That's why I love PowerShell. It gives you some kind of feedback when stuff goes wrong. Let's see. So it's called shell.exe. So let's see if we can do that. Okay, this one's blocked too, so I need something to bypass. I don't remember where I took those notes. I had a bunch of scripts that would just completely bypass AMSI, and I don't remember where I put them. This might take me a minute. Hmm. I had to pull my notes off the screen because some of this is from OSCP, and I can't really like release some of the stuff that's in there because I don't want to mess around, get in trouble, lose my cert. So I have to look at this off screen, unfortunately, and just to make sure I don't accidentally show something that shouldn't be shown. So AV evasion. No, my notes don't have that. Let me try using a program called Shelter. And what this does is it's supposed to create a payload that's not really detectable by AMSI, which AMSI is just the antivirus that's on there. I don't know who called me a nerd earlier or said it won't let you share it. I don't know why it won't. You can share it actually from the website. Just share the website link. Sorry, I just now saw that. I wasn't looking at the chat until now. Let's see. We'll do auto. The target is I forgot the IP address for it. And hopefully this works. It may not because it's so old. May have to think outside of the box here for this, but oh come on. All right, whatever. Oh, wait. PE target. Man, it's been a while since I've used this. I don't remember what it's asking. What? Mm-mm-mm. Bruh. I don't remember how to use this thing. It's been a long time. Do I need to make a folder? Is that what it's asking? I really don't remember. So we'll make a directory and call it shelter. Shelter? Shelter. All right, so I'm not going to use that. Let's see. So we need a bypass. Bypass AMSI. AMSI bypass methods. Oh, that's right. Yeah, PowerShell version 2. Let me see if I can do that. Now let's try it. Cert util. Nope, still blocked by antivirus software. What software is running? Uh, Let me see if we can. It's been a while since I've done services on window. I know it's SCQ. Was it query? Yeah, SC query. No, okay. What did I do with my notes? There we are. We need privesc for Windows and services. I don't remember the specific command. Oh, that's right. So we can't even look at the services. So I need something to go directly into the memory then. I'm trying to think, man. This one started out easy, but it's getting a little more difficult. I might have to split this into two different days if I run out of time here. Oh man. Let me try a PowerShell command rather than cert util. Since we have PowerShell now, right? So PowerShell HTTP download one-liner. Invoke web request. Let's try this. It's so crazy that like I mean it worked. Like it obviously worked. So why did the antivirus just all of a sudden just start working after it reached out for this? And now all of a sudden it's not working. Well, we're in PowerShell. Okay. So paste. We will save this to the temp directory, I guess. And please tell me that worked. Where is our? Oh, okay. Yeah, it just copied it. So why? Okay. So let's go to the Windows and then temp file. List that directory. What? Access to the path is denied. Okay. What the hell is going on, dude? This is so weird. This is like one of the weirdest ones I've ever had. Let me see. No, nothing's acting the way that it would normally act, which is a good thing. Like I'm still learning from this myself. That's the good part about these live things, man. Is like if I were to like pre-record or whatever, like, well, what would be the point of that? You know, like it's kind of showing you guys like the actual process and like methodology of everything. Most people don't see that. You know, you look at a write up and you're just like, oh, okay, cool, that's how they did it. But you don't see like the time that they actually put into doing that and like all the failures that they had to do. You're basically taking, you know, pasta, throwing it up against the wall, seeing what sticks. You know, I'm trying different things here. I just tried, you know, PowerShell after CMD wouldn't work. Tried using an actual PowerShell command rather than, you know, the cert util command. And that seemed to have worked, but let's try. I'm gonna try and save it at. Uh, oh, it's freezing up on me. I'm gonna try and save it at the viewers or viewer directory. Because that seemed to have worked, right? Like that looked like it just worked. Yeah, it just pulled it again. So if it doesn't let me look at viewer directory, there we go. Now we got it. So we bypassed it using PowerShell 2 then in a PowerShell 2 command. That's crazy, man. So now we can try that run as. So now I need to set up a actually no, I won't do that. I'll set up a netcat listener for port 443 since it's like one of the common ones. Because I have a feeling since that antivirus is in place, it's going to look for things being launched in uncommon ports. So I'm not going to do 4444. I'll do 443, which is for HTTPS. And now I know I have notes on this. I need to. What is it? Let's see if I can remember. Run as user administrator. Yeah, I need my notes for this, man. I can't remember all of this stuff. Don't need that. Where are my notes? That's not it. That's not it. There we go. there's my notes. So it was impersonation. Is it under PrivS? Windows impersonation. There we actually, yeah, this is the command I was looking for. I had to use this in a different CTF. So let's try running this. So we'll need to change, we need 45.160. And we need the password that we grabbed. And hopefully this password works. It wouldn't let us log in with SSH, but they might just have administrator blocked on SSH. So if this is the correct password, then this should work. Unable to run, cannot be specified. What? Oh, I didn't put the correct file path in. So this is what? Users/viewer. Viewer. There we go. Let's try this again. Paste. Attempting to start. Oh shit. Check that out. So we just rooted it, I believe, because we're running as administrator. So let's go to, who am I? DVR4 administrator. So now we have admin privileges and we got an interactive shell with it. And so like another thing, and actually I'm going to try this real quick too. Another thing we could have done, since we were able to bypass that antivirus here, and this is the scary thing too, is like how easy it is to bypass these antiviruses. Because like the way that it works is antiviruses always scan for files, right? Like within your file system. So if you inject something that's malicious into the memory itself, there is no file for it to scan. So it's not going to see that. So that's how everybody pretty much bypasses all of this stuff, is they inject the malicious code right into the memory itself. And so what we were doing with this PowerShell 2 is PowerShell 2 just bypasses AMC completely. This was like an old trick that I found out. Actually, it was one of the certs that I'm studying right now told me about this. The GPIN test, the instructor had said something about that. Every time he goes in for a pen test, he automatically drops down to PowerShell 2 just to try and bypass AMC like the entire time. It's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, so something else that we could have done, and I'm about to test this out just to make sure it actually worked, was that reverse shell that we made. We'll go ahead and grab that. And then so shell.exe is in there. And this was also on port 4444 that I had made the shell on. I don't know if this port number will work, but we're about to test it out. I just want to see if this was another way that we could have gotten it. We need to run as administrator. And we don't need all of this. We just need shell.exe. Password. Okay, so it didn't work on 4444, which was kind of my assumption. But let me see if I can change that. Oh, wait a minute. We need payloads. I'm just going to see if I can change that real quick to port 443 to see if that'll execute that way. So we'll just overwrite what we got. Change that port number to 443. Add in our IP address. And by all means, like if you guys have questions or anything, feel free to put it in that chat there. If you're looking at it on the website or if you're on Facebook or whatever, If you're looking at it on the website, just there's upper right hand corner of where you actually have to touch on the video screen, and then an icon will pop up or whatever to let you chat into there. So if you have any questions on any of this and what I'm doing, just go ahead and let me know. I'll try to answer what I can. So right now I'm creating a reverse shell payload, and I'm making it an executable for Windows. So it's going to be called shell.exe. And what this does is whenever it is the shell.exe is executed or ran, it's going to send out a reverse shell to my IP address at this port number. All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and set up a listener on 443, and we will try to do this again. Cool. And let me grab that password again. Hey, okay, so yeah, it would have worked this way too. Either way, so I didn't necessarily have to put netcat onto this yeah, I didn't necessarily have to put netcat onto the machine. I could have just uploaded a reverse shell and then executed that as administrator. So what we're doing right now with that, we're running the command run as, and then obviously selecting the administrator, right? Couldn't do this without the password. We need the administrator password in order to do that. If SSH had allowed the administrator to log in on port 22 like as SSH, then we could have gone that route. We wouldn't have had to do this, but since they had that blocked, which I tried, remember, but since I had it blocked, I had to go this route. So yeah, we're basically just impersonating administrator running this command right here. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and capture that last flag then. So we'll need to go to the users directory, and then administrator, and then desktop. And we will type out that proof.txt, capture that flag, and this box is done. Where do I have it saved? There it is. It's open here. And paste that in. And boom, we have successfully captured both flags, completed this box, rooted it in the course of about an hour 15. It took a little bit longer than I was anticipating, especially after we got in so quickly. That Privest kind of shot me in the foot there, but not a big deal. Still got through it. I'm going to start doing some of the harder ones later too. That's probably going to be like on a weekend thing when I have a little bit more time. And just because you see how long this went on, and this was just an intermediate one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me on any of the platforms. Feel free to email me, hit me up on Facebook, whatever you want to do. I am more than happy to talk hacking. So hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for showing up. I'll see you guys next Monday.